Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a sort of unique video that we're going to be doing today. Today, we're going to be doing a little guide behind the good old game mode of Diretide. Very straightforward guide. We're not going to do too much when it comes down to it. But basically, it's a 5v5 game mode. It's already been out for a couple of days, so if you haven't played it yet, then you haven't played it yet. That's just pretty much it, actually. So what we're gonna do, I don't know if I could get this out of here. Cool, I can get it out of here. So the big thing about this game mode is that there's a combination of needing money in order to buy items, and a combination of the candy. The candy is the main objective in the game. Now, the big thing about this is that you get gold for killing heroes, as well as getting last hits on creeps, just like in normal Dota. It won't show you the gold, though, every time you get it. The gold just sort of appears, in a sense. So, basically, what happens is that you kill a hero, you gain gold. You kill a golem, you gain gold, or you kill some creeps, and you'll gain gold. It works just like normal Dota, except the gold is shared to everybody in the game, as well as experience. It is also shared to everybody in the game. So whenever you get a hero kill, or whenever you get a kill on creeps, keep in mind that last hits are still very important. This does not include denies. You should never try to deny your golem. You can deny your normal creeps, you'll get candy from your denied creeps. But when it comes down to the end story of it all, you just don't deny. Just don't deny your golem. That's just literally it. If you deny the golem, don't do it. They don't gain candy for killing the golem. The golem gives you no candy. So as you can see in the top of the screen when you're in this game mode, except you might not. No, you can. Cool. You can see that there's a total unscored candy held by heroes, which is this plus 25 or plus 32. But then there's this secondary list that shows you candy that is actively in your pool. So as you can see here, you see the Spirit Breaker dropping his candy into his pool, giving it towards the 61 total pool now. You also get candy for you also get a slight amount of gold from turning in candy. It's not too much, but it's there. But it's always ideal that you turn in the candy as soon as possible, especially if you have 5 or more. Having 5 or more is a very dangerous number to be holding on to, and you really should not be holding on to more than 5 at a time unless you're trying to feed Roshan. So, as you can see, actually, in this game mode, every now and again, Roshan will just emerge and start walking around the map asking for a specific number of candy in order to satiate his hunger. Well, his thirst for human or non-human. He wants candy. That's just pretty much it. This will make him pretty happy as soon as you get him that candy. But as you can see here, you see this Seeker has 10 candy right now. He gets caught out, he's just basically dead here, and loses a big chunk of money, being the candies. Now we have this Spectre here as well with 11. So they're still able to feed him, but the other big thing about this is that the more candy you have, the more it'll cost to feed Roshandra. You don't want to have it to where you have to feed him 15 candy at 2.5 minutes into the game. Well, let's go over the straight up basics of this game mode. The game mode wants you to feed candy to Roshan. If you don't feed candy to Roshan, he'll get really mad and beat the hell out of your teammates until you do so. Ideally, you want to be feeding candy to your Roshan as much as humanly possible. And you don't want to be holding on to 21 pieces of candy, because you will lose that all and die. There you go. That's the 21 pieces of candy just sitting there. But anyway, let's go over the first 3 basic things. Last hits will still net you gold. Killing golems will net you gold. Last hitting creeps, actually you don't even need to last hit creeps. Killing creeps will net you candy, as well as killing scarecrows, as you can see up in the top right here. The scarecrow will net you 10 candy and a neutral item. The scarecrows will spawn at every 5-minute mark, 3-minute mark, and 1-minute mark. 1 minute mark is usually the scariest position of all. But once you have the Scarecrow that spawns at the 3 minute mark and the 2 minute mark beyond that, then you're pretty much good to go. So Candy is the main importance of this game mode. Getting hero kills is great and all, but Candy. Candy is what you want, as Candy will allow you to mac up your score and get it all done and dandy. So Candy is very important. What you want to do is you want to orchestrate with your team one specific hero to be the Candy caretaker in a sense. And what I mean by that is that your highest mobility hero should be the one who is responsible for dropping Candy back into the pot once it's time to turn it in. So for example, in this game, we have 2 mobility heroes, myself as Wind Ranger and this Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit equally high mobility but more mana cost, whereas Wind Ranger can just wind run and get there just in time no matter what. But again, having mobility heroes is vitally important in this game mode. So that way you can get to the lane quick and back ready to go at any point in time, or use it to escape from any specific spells that's going to be causing a specific issue for you.
5 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
So after every round, you're going to see your total score be up there, up in the top screen. This is a best of 5 game mode. But on top of that, you could go to a 3 or you can go to round 4 and just win the game, assuming your score meets the standard. I'm just looking at my dog over there. Copper, what are you doing over there? Copper? Copper? Oh, you scared me. I'm leaving that in the video. You guys don't see it. Laying in front of the door for some reason. But anyway, the big thing about the game mode is turning in Candy and making sure you have a great mobility hero to do this. The way that the Dire kind of fucked up in this scenario is that their mobility hero is Slark, who goes for an Echo Saber at the very beginning instead of going for the Aghanim Scepter, which is his mobility spell. Basically, they went for the ability to kill and teamfight heroes at any point in time, whereas we had 2 mobility heroes that were able to escape if things managed to get south pretty quickly. Which, more times than not, they definitely went south quickly. So that's basically the main strategy behind it, is that you need to have a mobility hero. And what are these mobility heroes, you ask? Well, I can give you a short list of S-tier mobility heroes that are definitely going to be very important in your games of Diretide. Your first one is going to be Sand King. The reason why I put Sand King at the top of the S-tier list is because Sand King's stun allows you to relocate yourself in a very specific position. If you have an Aghanim Scepter, the range of it doubles and makes it to where it's much more accessible to get around the map. Not to mention his Sandstorm kit is absolutely incredible in the endpoint scenario. Because if you could just stun a target forever while also putting down the Sandstorm, that could slowly kill the creep waves as well as Caustic Finale. He's the perfect combination of teamfight capability as well as just straight up damage as well as mobility after Aghanim Scepter. Next to that would probably be Wind Ranger, because Wind Ranger has the ability to pick off a specific hero at any point in time using the Shackle Shot Focus Fire combo. But if you get the Aghanim Scepter on Windy after, at least my personal preference, getting a Monkey King bar, you'll have it to where your Wind Run does 2 charges and puts you at basically max move speed. So I feel like Wind Ranger is definitely one of the more ideal ones that you see getting banned a lot in these pub games anyway. Next to that would probably be Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain has a really high mobility rate as well as the same sort of teamfight based potential that Sand King kind of have, except it's just more mobility instead of more teamfight. Those are the 3 big high mobility heroes I could easily recommend that are easy to learn. The other one would be Storm Spirit. He is another one of the S-tier traveling heroes. A more A-tier traveling hero would probably be something along the lines of Void Spirit or Darkseer. The reason why I put Darkseer in A tier and not S tier is because Darkseer needs both mana and cooldowns in order to travel to very specific locations. And why Mirana is also A tier is because Leap has 3 charges and is not reliable. Void Spirit's pretty much the same sort of story, as Void Spirit can only really jump in very specific locations with his 2 total charges of his Leap. So that's why I'm not really giving him a big S tier list either. A B tier, I would say, would probably be just Lina, because Lina gains attack and move speed with more spells that she casts. Why is this Seeker... Like, this is what you don't want to do. You see this Seeker running around with 25 candy, and then immediately Wind Ranger comes out of nowhere with multi-focus fire, gets all this candy, and now is pretty much good to go. That's why I really like Wind Ranger, because no matter how much candy or HP you have, Windy could burst down your HP no matter what. And here I am running away with 31 candy as a result. Like I said, you don't really want to be carrying a lot of candy, especially if you're a Bloodseeker with 25 total candy. I highly recommend after 5 candy that you consider going back and collecting candy from your teammates. So after you've done all of that and you picked out your mobility heroes, then you need to figure out what sort of teamfight heroes, or in our scenario, what heroes can you get that's going to allow you to take out the Scarecrows as quickly and respectably as possible. Well, the number 1 hero that I've seen capable of being able to take down Scarecrows, buildings, as well as just annihilate the candy bucket would be the Leshrac. Leshrac is hands down the S tier tower taker and the S tier destroy the golem, the S tier break the candy bucket and take all of the opponent's candy hero. The reason why that is because Diabolic Edict makes it to where it's A, physical, B, pierces immunity, and C, does a lot more damage against towers. And the big thing is that not only is the Taffy Well considered a tower, but so is the Candy Bucket. The Candy Bucket has the same sort of aura line that has that same scenario. So you don't really want to be throwing that away, because it's a very important thing. Leshrac is hands down one of the best S tier push the towers kind of scenario. The next closest one would actually be Shadow Shaman. He is also another one of the S tiers, but the reason why he's not super picked up anymore is because he's been recently nerfed. However, that does not put down to the factor that Shadow Shaman still is a really good addition to the kit that is available to us. I was wondering why they were pinging up there, actually, when I was playing this game. So that was basically in that scenario. Shadow Shaman was a pretty S tier hero during his time. And I guess the next closest one would probably be either Nature's Prophet or Io. The reason why I say Io is because Io allows you to relocate your hero on top of the enemy's candy bucket and just click the hell out of it for 15 seconds and then TP back out. So that's it's pretty important actually to end up having a scenario like that available. So now let's go over a small little list of S tier heroes to B tier heroes, as I don't have a list of anything under the B tier hero list. So the first line of S tier heroes I want to talk about are ones that we've already kind of talked about already. These are heroes that have highest mobility as well as highest damage potential for their kit. We have Sand King, high mobility, great team fight ability, as well as being able to get an Aghanim Scepter to relocate the character at any point in time at any distance. Yes, this is where I basically kill myself. Yes, Blade Mail. Wind Ranger would be next because Wind Ranger has high one hero pickoff capability, following with Focus Fire, Wind Run, and the permanent Shackle Shot. Ember Spirit I put in the S tier hero list as well. Searing Chains as well as Sleight of Fist is a lot of damage to deal with. Queen of Pain and Shadow Shaman already in the S tier as well. Quap we talked about, there's high mobility and high damage, while Shadow Shaman has immense teamfight ability with dropping down the wards. Next to that would be Io, as we've already talked about. Io with the high relocate ability, able to get anywhere at any time. And then following that, wow, they still Craggy Coat. Yeah, that's not much of a steal. Next to that would be the Lesh. The Lesh track allows you, like I said, to have this big magic team fight going on. Only downside is that Lesh's mobility is not great. But as long as you use Pulse Nova, and you get a Bloodstone and actually use the Bloodstone, like the Lesh did not do here, because that would have saved him instead of having him die. It 100% would have saved him. I don't know why he didn't use Bloodstone. But Lesh and Storm are also of the S tier list. Lesh is a little bit easier to play, while Storm, on the other hand, kind of a little bit difficult. Now in the A tier heroes, Earthshaker and Earth Spirit. The reason I put Earthshaker in the A tier hero is because his Aghanim Scepter doesn't actually allow him to travel too far, but the reason I picked him up is because this is a great hero when you get to the later phases of the game. Because once you get to Spooky Ghosts, there's a lot of minions that can compile together on top of each other for that big ultimate Echo Slam. Millions of creeps. Millions and billions of creeps. Following that with the Earth Spirit is that he is a high mobility hero, but a high complexity hero as well, which is why he's not considered an S tier in my list. A lot of people don't really know how to play him. So I just wanted to make sure that people know that he is a really good hero to play, if you know how to play. Next is Zeus. The reason I put Zeus actually in A tier, not an S tier, is because he's high burst damage and high kill to creeps, but he has 0 mobility and 0 escape. So the big thing about it is that as soon as he just gets caught out, he's just dead. That's just straight up it. And Zeus can't stay in the back lines and be reliable. But the reason why he's still in A tier is because he could still be somewhat reliable. Following that would be the Darkseer. And the reason, like I said earlier, actually Darkseer and Mirana, the reason why I said they are both A tiers earlier is because of the fact that they don't have great static mobility. Darkseer needs it to where his cooldown is his main entire thing and doesn't really have any great team fight beyond that. Following that, Mirana has a total of 3 leap charges. The reason why she's A tier still is because of having permanent invis and the fact that Mirana Arrow instantly kills any creep that is a creep health bar. The reason I say this is because you can't arrow the Golem and the Golem dies instantly. You arrow one of these guys and they will die instantly. Next is Sven. Now the reason I say Sven is because he is a teamfight hero, and everybody loves a good teamfight hero. There's nothing really else behind it. It's just, he's good at teamfight. Void Spirit and Veno are the last in my A tier list. The reason why both Void Spirit and Veno are the last ones in my A tier list is because Void Spirit is another high complexity hero that requires a little bit of knowledge on how to play in order to navigate the hero correctly. And Venomancer, the reason why he is an A tier hero is because I see it as that he is able to place down wards everywhere. Nobody likes dealing with a good Venomancer player, and you don't have to be good at Veno. You drop your wards down and deals continuous dot damage onto a target at any point in time. So, not to mention, they don't get XP and they don't get gold for turning in those extra for killing Venomancer wards. They don't get anything for killing Venomancer wards. So, placing Venomancer wards and just annihilating things is a great way to go. On top of that, Venomancer wards are just strong. If you are able to get a tombstone down, or not a tombstone, if you're able to get one of the wells down, you drop Venomancer wards on top of this, it will click every time and drop a candy. There is no damage fragment that needs to happen. Of a Guardian? That's weird. I read that really weirdly, Guardian. But anyway, those are my A tier heroes. And now for the B tier heroes, which after B tier heroes, I have nothing else to talk about. I genuinely don't have anything else listed under B tier. I put Bristleback and Mars in B tier. The reason why I put Bristleback in B tier is because he is a huge teamfight hero, but if he gets caught out, he's just kind of dead. And Roshan feels like he hits with pure damage. So there's not really a big scenario on that really benefits him. Mars, the same kind of story. Big team fight abilities, but can't really do anything after the big team fight. But the reason I have these other ones here, LC, Silencer, and Pudge. They are B tier heroes, but they are still great heroes to play. If you could play Pudge really well, you could pick off and hook somebody who is dumb enough to have more than 5 pieces of candy on them. But the reason why Pudge is actually in the pool, because Pudge has scalability. So does Silencer, so does LC, and I actually put Line in this as well. And the reason why that is because they have scalability. LC gaining dual damage every time she wins a duel, Silencer gaining intel every time he wins a fight, and Pudge gaining strength every time he is involved in a hero kill, and Lion gaining finger stacks every single time he lands a finger kill. So that's why I have those heroes in there, is because their scalability helps you a lot in the long run, so long as you're able to actually get those kills. As you see here, this Pudge only was a part of 16 total endeavors, and maybe he didn't even get all the tags on them. He might, yeah, see, so he doesn't have all of them. But the big thing is that you need to pay attention to it because of that. Now, here's the other thing I want to point out. There is a score menu that actually helps you do the breakdown in the further points of the game. What I want you to pay attention to is the fact that Bloodseeker had lost 82 total candy. That is bad, and you do not ever want to see that. But the last two heroes on my B tier list are going to be Lina and Sniper. The reason why Lina is there because she has high burst damage potential into the lane, but is another hero that just kind of gets caught out and dies almost instantly. Sniper along the same scenario, but the big thing with Snipers is that he can be really far away and not actually get engaged by these low mobility heroes if you're in a low mobility hero game. So that kind of covers our baseline guide on what hero tier lists as well as candy that will give you a little bit of advantage. Basically, long story short, turn in your candies, don't hold on to them if you have more than 5, and ideally feed Roshan. Don't feed Roshan around the last minute of the game if the score is close. If the score is not close, feed Roshan as many times as you want. But there is one last thing I'm trying to remember here. Oh, yes. So if Shadow Shaman is banned out, or if Wind Ranger is banned out, in my mind, I usually, when Shadow Shaman's banned out, pick Lesh. And if Wind Ranger is banned, pick Ember. If Quap is banned, pick Sand King. Or if Sand King is banned, pick Quap. Basically, vice versa, vice versa. Only pick Io if you have a good agility carry. There is no reason to pick Io otherwise. And don't build Radiance. Do not build farming items. Don't build Maelstrom. Don't build Battle Fury. Don't build Radiance. You are building fight items to fight constantly. DKBs, Aghanim Scepters, or Monkey King Bars are one of the few things that are moderately acceptable. Wind Ranger can't do damage without a Monkey King Bar anyway. Horse Staffs, Hurricane Pikes, BKBs, Blink Daggers, Blade Mails, Shadow Blades, everybody but what the Spectre has. Bloodstone and Octarine Core is fine if you're a hero that benefits from that. But overall, it was a very straightforward game mode, and I unfortunately explained it for 23 total minutes. So I hope you thoroughly enjoyed my version of a thorough guide of Diretide. Make sure you thoroughly enjoy the game mode, as it is going to be here all the way till December 22nd of this year. Make sure you get all your lovely cosmetics as well, because they will go away after some time. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching my Diretide guide, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. We'll see you next time for some more Dota 2 Diretide action. This is PartyPete, signing off.